Is Mike Yuhaniak again, back with part 2, the video companion to troubleshooting the box squat we sent out on February 18th. What we're going to cover in this video is mainly the common errors you see, which are fairly numerous, but we're going to break them down into just a few categories. First one is going to be someone who, when they sit instead of the proper box squat, which is something like that, depending on your technique, your preference, who taught it to you, is going to be when people just don't sit back far enough. If we look at the shin angle, like I said in the last part, you want to get the shin angle at least perpendicular to the floor, if not further, to really load up the backside. Alright, now the main reason that happens is either you're not strong enough to sit back all the way at a proper depth box, proper depth being relative, but either you're not strong enough, which is going to be most people's problem, or you don't know how to do it, or you just need to work on your technique, period. So when we load it up, you're here nice and tall. You sit back, shift your weight back, and make sure that shin angle is really at least perpendicular as you see there. So, I don't know. I'd actually prefer to do a better one since it's an example. I'm going to sit back, and I'm loading up the hamstrings nice and tight, loading up the quads. Loading up the quads to a lesser extent, getting the adductors and glutes involved. So what do you do about that? If you're not strong enough to sit back, you should reduce the range of motion. Like I said, rather you teach yourself proper technique, bring that pad back so that you can sit to the proper way at a higher depth and then work your way down. Or, like I said, reduce the weight. If you're using any weight, I'd say cut it until you get that form back. The other thing you do is just remember, butt back, butt back. That's where cueing comes in. You either have to look at yourself, have someone coach you. Really sit your butt way back. Because if the knee breaks before the butt, if you do this, you're going to load up your stronger quads, okay? Whether or not someone's quad dominance is a relative thing, I won't get into that debate. But what we do know is that when you stand sideways here, most people have pretty much nothing from here down, which implies, like I was talking about earlier, lack of posterior chain strength. So really sit back, and when you get good at this, you're going to get much stronger through here, so you can avoid ever seeing someone squat like this again, in proper pattern. Okay? One of the other things you see, people get loaded up, and they come down, they sit back, but they're all bent over like this. Now that's almost painful just to show. What you're going to want to do there, really reinforce the idea of puffing your chest up. I mean, the real idea, you're arching your back, you're puffing it up, but most people seem to respond better, male or female, to the idea of puffing your chest up. So you got the bar, you create a nice shelf here, and you really squeeze it tight and puff your chest up. You're locked into place. If you've been doing way too much bench press, it may be way tight through here. That's a different video in itself. But you could either, just get used to it, not my best suggestion, figure out a way to loosen up, or use a different bar. I'm really a big fan of the safety squat bar or the camber bar, just different things that put less pressure on those who can't externally rotate the shoulder. So, to recap, if your problem looks something like this, you really got to learn how to puff your chest up and possibly even just put a little air in your stomach. Like I said, most people don't know how to create intra-abdominal pressure. So I like to teach them to basically puff their belly out real tight initially until they get that control. Make themselves the opposite of what they want, make themselves fat, and keep that pressure. The old Nissan commercials, wider is better, is usually where I go with this, because if you got, say, a 32-inch waist, I don't know anyone like that, you want to really make it about, say, 35, 36 inches. So if I'm blowing that air out, keeping it tight, it's really hard to bend one way or another if you keep that air in there. And it's much more effective for those who have zero body control. So let's look at a good one again. Feet nice and wide, chest up, squeezing the bar. Push some air in your belly, sit way back, boom. All right, now if you're also doing that rocking forward motion, you're also probably not pushing your feet and knees out. As I said in the first part, really want to make sure you're creating some tension in here. As you come back, you push your knees and your feet out, so that I'm still tense here. I'm sitting here fairly relaxed, but this is not loose, I'm not relaxed. Makes it a lot harder to get up. If I push out, like I said, big rubber band, it swings up. Now, if you're still having problems with the thing we talked about a minute ago, sitting back, and reducing the range of motion didn't work enough, taking the weight off, I like to use a little counterbalance system. That's what I used to do with people between the age of 75 and 90. You really make sure they got their weight on their heels instead of being all anterior weight bearing. Put your weight on your heels, lead with the butt, and as your butt comes back, your arms come up. It's a nice counterbalance. So we come here, okay? Now you gotta fit the situation to the individual. You know, if it's a geriatric person, they may not be able to do anything near what I just did. So you're gonna raise the bench up, you're gonna get nice and tall, you're gonna push it back, and then it might look a little something like this at first. That's okay to start. There's no right or wrong here. You wanna make them work towards the ability to do this properly. Like I said, most people, the way we are with our society, not gonna be able to squat straight ahead yet. Open it up, allow them to use these big muscles in here, they're just laying dormant. And as they sit back, boom, okay? So I'm just gonna give you a quick shot. We'll do 2 reps from the side, quick review of what we want it to look like. And then the camera's gonna rotate a little, you're gonna see slightly from a 45-degree or back angle, okay? Everything's set, sitting back, boom, and one more, boom, all right? So just remember, you got your feet nice and wide. That's the first step, everyone forgets that. Get out wide, don't be here, get wide, and then come on back. Boom. Boom, really exploding up. One thing I failed to mention so far, when I come down, first thing's gonna happen, I'm sitting back, I got that tension there, head's gonna come up before the knees, all right? The head's coming, boom. I'm like a big marionette being pulled up, okay? So let's watch this, slightly different angle. Same weight, same everything else. Just nice and tight, come back, boom. Squeeze that bar so it doesn't go anywhere, boom. Boom. And like I said, get yourself one of these Elite FTS benches for box squat, they're fabulous. All right? So if you have any more questions, feel free to email me, my@yuhaniak.com. Appreciate you watching, appreciate the feedback. And like I said, let me know if you need anything else. Thanks.